at all.
Well, who needs an intro? Let's just get into the Lords. I mean, how's everyone feeling? Season's done now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's taking control. That's right. Yeah, no, it's good. It's been a humbling season for me. So I mean, put him back in my place. So.
Thank God.
Do you really feel that way though? Because I mean, ultimately, I don't know. You know, there were other strong teams this year, and you had a few results which I think you probably are kicking yourself over a bit now. But for the most part, I think you were just beaten by a better team.
Ooh. Yeah, in all honesty, I'm actually really happy with my season. In the last 2 seasons, I've had my pre-season form training on point, and it sort of led from there. You could say that both the seasons I won it, shouldn't have won it with the team I had, and I think that would stand true.
I think the first season, you came out of nowhere and no one was expecting your players to play the form that they were, and that gave you a good platform for your next season at which you had better form management, and that's why you won those 2, I think. And so it wasn't so much a surprise that you won with the team; it was more that you set yourself up for the second one, and everyone still didn't really register you as a team, whilst I think other managers did overall. But I think it's good that you didn't win the season, not because you shouldn't have won, because we talked about this. I think
the truth comes out.
Well, we've talked about this. It's good for lower teams like us to get promoted, and then to win. I can hear someone.
Someone's walking their dog.
That's weird.
But yeah, no, totally.
But yeah, despite coming out of nowhere, now you're a solid team. I didn't want you to do what I wasn't able to do, and that's to win the treble.
It would have been beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And do you know who messed it up?
Who?
Fucking Pete! Pete!
Yeah, he fucked me up.
He did the double over me.
Me.
Pete's been the thorn in my side throughout my whole time in the Lords. Fair play to the kid, We're about similar height, similar matchup.
But going back to what you're saying, I don't think maybe you were put in your place so much. I think you just, you picked up some youth this season and you had some work to do.
You could argue away from that though. Actually, my youth got older and my better players got better. But
it's relative to
I said
so what are you saying? Are you saying you got tactically outdone?
No, I'd say this might be a little bit controversial. I wouldn't say this is the reason I didn't win the league. It's not. People were better than me, and they had it all on point. But I thought we had another week at the beginning, and no. I accept everything. I'm just saying, so I went into the season without that form coming through, and in previous seasons I'd had it on point. But that said, if I'd been listening in on the group a lot more, then I would have known this, and I would have been. But I wasn't in the past I've sort of always had a sort of date just there, and it was a bit last minute. But if I'd been paying attention, then fine. So that's sort of my fault. I don't think I would have won still, I think. But I'm just saying I might have been set up better.
Well, I've made my feelings on the matter clear, so we don't really need to deliberate on the point. But
no, exactly. And now, if you think about it, it's going to be an announcement. We'll just say exactly no excuses, no nothing. But it's not an excuse. I shouldn't have won. I think it's actually a really exciting finale.
Yeah.
Who should have won? Do you think Graham should have won?
I think he should have, yeah. But I think Bilbo did fucking amazing.
I would have enjoyed Norman winning more than Graham, obviously.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Graham's a bellend, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a tosser. No.
Yeah, no. I don't respect him for running this league at all.
No, you got to give credit Norman. Credit where credit's due. He had a really good season, I think.
I think Harsh would be kicking himself a bit.
Wow.
It was that cup. He played youth in the cup, and he got smashed and his form dropped heavily. But the cup's done him good in the past, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Why wouldn't you
just made it,
go down that line?
You can make a mistake, everyone does
exactly.
it. But this was his season to really do well. But I was saying earlier today, actually, just to a couple of other members of the Lords, that Harsh's time is nigh. If it's not this upcoming season, it's going to be the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's going to be smart with his players, and he's going to sell people at the right time if he needs to. He's already spread some interest in selling a midfielder. Well, he might bring in youth, or he might bring in age. Either way, the rest of his players will be just a higher skill, a better age, and it will be the time.
I've seen an improvement in his tactics this season as well. I think he's getting better all round.
Somewhat. I still think he gets baffled sometimes, but not. I think the occasions are rarer and rarer. He still has a clear idea of what he wants to do in each game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think again tactically, I don't know. I think in whatever way you want to look at it, I think he did let the pressure get to him a little bit. And everyone talking in the group and
It's not a nice thing. It's really not a nice thing.
What, the baiting?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, when you're under the limelight.
And he engaged in it, like, you know what I mean, quite openly. Like, we haven't seen managers do that before, where they've been out there and everyone's sort of giving them a jibe in the WhatsApp group, but Harsh engaged in it, and I don't know, like, he just seems to just sort of tighten up and get a little less. Lose confidence a little bit.
It's also when you're looking on the most visitors page, and everyone's coming to see your team after every match. They're looking at what's going on.
Yeah. I got the impression he was very aware of that. But I mean, at the same time, you know, as you said, yourself and Norman both had terrific second parts of the season. Like, Norman was always sort of in there, but then he got some real big results towards the end when he needed them. And
I think,
here's another team. You talk about a team that's, you know, whose time is nigh. Bilbo's another team for me that I think in next season his team's just going to get, I mean, from what I've seen of his DV, his team's just going to, same thing, get a skill higher and age older. And
Norman's been the cobbler, isn't he? He's sort of cobbled together his team with players from other teams. You know what I mean? Though he has.
He's cemented it out of previous lords
this guy here
and some
and
good
this guy
signings.
Here.
And
they've got the experience and they've come together and they've nearly fucking won it. So you got to say fair play for
right in the fucking gut.
I think the thing is that everyone gave him some shit, because there were a few sort of poor signings in there, a mix within everything else. But what's actually stayed and what's risen to the top and what's still there now are actually some quite good signings. And some quite
Norman's improved a lot.
Because Norman did a lot of dealings, so obviously not all of them worked, but he essentially just played the numbers game. And some of them have actually really worked out. And, you know, he's got a few players.
He's been moneyballing.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, he's like Harry Redknapp, isn't he? You know what I mean? Like he's got good deals for these players. He has.
He'll
if you
love
put him on the market,
well.
he'll probably get more.
Yeah.
So he's
a team I'm taking seriously next season. Yeah, definitely.
Mind you, tipping for manager though, AFC Slays had a cracking season, come third. I think they're picked to pretty much take it next season.
What, the Squires?
Yeah.
So who's actually only one team's going down? Only Galacticos, right?
Potentially, but it looks like we might be able to remove either the Treebeards or the Dynamo, just because, for example, Dynamo hasn't got VIP anymore, and God knows if he even is aware of that, or has been aware for the past month of which he hasn't had it. So the thought process is we kick him out and bring Chaz in.
So rather than more strengthen.
We strengthen the core players, so we don't have any Squires compounders. We have some competitors.
I'm happy with that.
Because
Larry doesn't escape.
No, Larry goes down like he fucking deserves.
I thought he was going to do it. I thought he was going to do it again.
Yeah.
Just somehow
obviously,
wiggle out.
It depends on Tristan's views, because obviously it's his mate, and you know he's got to create some sort of connection there. But you know, I suppose he is kind of like an honorary member of the assistant club, so he kind of has a responsibility to keep that in check.
Who?
Tristan. Yeah. So, but obviously that's the best case scenario, because numbers don't change, season stays the same, fixtures are good, we got good timings. We'll understand the thing that got you confused at the start of the season, what time we have for transfers and friendlies and stuff. I think what you got sorted with your other league, which we might as well bring up now, is that we've got 2 weeks now of DV and friendlies and stuff before any game started, because we started in a good, timely fashion.
Yeah, and it's been very transparent, very open about the whole thing. Like, you know, we're going to start the season on this date and start the league on this date. And
this is what you get in like professional expert leagues, but you know, it's something that we could look to employ.
Yeah, well, it's one of those ones, isn't it? I mean, I'm all for tradition, but certain things you do need to evolve with, and this is one of them. I think just it will help everyone. We all know. Then there's literally gonna be no excuses. Not that. I think
But I'm looking forward to next season, boys. I mean, obviously this season's been cracking, and we can obviously keep sort of not leave that alone. But next season's where my focus is now, Monday morning, and you know, I think a lot of thing is. I mean, I'm going to put it out there. I think I'm going to have a decent change, but I think a lot of other people in the same boat.
I think everyone's done pretty well with DV.
I haven't. I fell into the trap of competing.
Yeah, you did. And when you, because you said it earlier, you said this is the season because you can't not do it.
This is my last season to win.
Yeah, and if you'd done it and gone down in style and then done some mad things with your team, you know, you've won the treble. It's now to just shake it up a bit.
Yeah, that was my plan. That was my plan.
That would have been really nice.
I did feel like I had to, and I felt I had to be that confident guy up front, even if in the back of my head I was going, it's probably not there.
Sorry to interrupt, but what was the factor that made you think like I've got to really go for it and still balance your DV out? Like what proportion of your mindset was still every game that you prepared tactically or you did your form training, you were engaging with how much you wanted to get your DV higher than your output of goals and win? Like with that focus in mind.
Well, this season it ended up becoming really complicated because I was picking teams on my form a lot of the time, and that wasn't always the best shout. So sometimes I actually played a youth player over someone who would put in a higher skill game. But the problem is some of those losses, especially earlier, they just meant my form went down and down and down to the point where it's going to take
Kind of dictated your
4
season.
weeks of wins to get it back up to where I'd want it.
Yeah.
4 weeks
I
of
think
wins and good form training all timed perfectly, and I mean that's sort of the cup's been quite fun for me this year because it's given me a chance to try and get that form up, but I'm not that confident for tomorrow. It is the cup final tomorrow after all.
It is, yeah. Who gives a fuck though? Quite frankly.
Yeah, well,
Does anyone actually care about it?
I'm sure Tristan does.
Yeah, he has
this is his moment. This is his thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It would be really interesting if like Graham was still in it. Everyone would be fucking watching it.
The double, yeah.
The double. He'd had the double again. Oh,
Whereas now
God.
you've got two has-beens.
Absolute has-beens, yeah.
For the cup.
Graham must be absolutely chuffed though. Like, see, it's been a while since he's held that title.
What first?
Yeah, like.
He's finished second a lot of times.
Yeah,
he's always got close.
You could always argue it was
incoming. Yeah. No, I think Dick Graham over the duration of the season deserves.
I will be watching his change report.
Yeah, he's got a lot of old.
What the
old
hell
players,
happens there?
Yeah. He could come in. He could have a bit of a shock. Soon. But.
Well, we'll have to wait until Monday. But
Yeah, and we haven't spoken much about the Burka. How are you feeling about your DV and
well, DV,
what's going on?
I'm pretty pleased with. I got the right players on 17. There's a couple of hitches here and there, but I'm planning to make moves after the change report anyway, so that it ties in relatively well. Not that I planned it to, because I would have rather not had to sell certain players.
Yeah.
But I've made my views clear on who's going and who's getting a bit of a shake up.
Have you already told them in the change and pulled them out? Spoken to the
Well,
players?
I had to really. It was at the end of the last day of the season. So look, it hasn't been a good season for you. You've got key injuries, and that's held you up. And we at the Burka can only take the best.
Well, you're cutthroat, aren't you? You base yourself on ISIS.
Exactly. We model ourselves on an infrastructure of terror, and we don't want to break that notion.
No, I completely understand. The heads will roll.
But yeah, quite. But going back to like my actual DV, it's good in the right players, and they all have a sincere change. And I think all my ace players are at a point where they're probably going to stay the same, if not just have a minor positive jump. So I'm looking to just strengthen the core.
Yeah.
I'm looking obviously for Sam Lofgren to do the double. Damien Mitchell needs to go up.
Scary player.
I mean, he will be. If he doubles, he will be. But
Do people know who Lofgren is? Do you think by now? Or?
I've definitely taken a lot of note of this kid.
Well, he's only a 4 skill at the end of the day. No one really clocks 4 skills.
If he doubles, then people will tend to notice.
Well, yeah, I'm going to be bruised, tightly marking every game now for the foreseeable future. Yeah, that would be the harshest, most dickish thing to do.
You can leave Peter Vitrelli open if you want. Mate.
Well, it's true. It's true.
You tend not to, though, based on previous reports.
Well, it's true. I like to man mark defenders. We've seen that.
Yeah.
Ajuda.
Yeah.
Man marking.
I know.
But going back to my season, it hasn't been brilliant. But that's obviously because my intention had been DV, and I've always put that first. The fact that I haven't been relegated is my point in case in that I'm staying competitive.
I think it's one thing I would call you out a little bit, Jack. And I'm your mate, but I would call you out a bit. I do think.
I do like
I'm your
you.
friend,
I do think your team did underachieve a bit, and I do think you can't really say. I know obviously focus was DV, focus was youth, but I still would have expected more out of what you had. I still think that's a fair thing to say.
This is what I was going to ask. This is what a lot of the Lords have been discussing.
I kind of think you should have been about where I was sat.
So basically everyone thinks I've lowered my standards.
A little bit. I kind of still feel like with the team you had, you were good enough to be sat there with me just outside the top 4.
While still focusing on you.
Whilst you were more and you know what? Take fair credit, Biscuit, again, I put him with Norm in terms of manager of the season.
He's now an official Lord,
took
isn't
4
he?
points,
He took a lordship,
4 points off me.
And he's a Lord now.
He's cemented it,
I think he had a really good season. Should be really pleased with the job he did. I think he
picked up some great results.
Yeah,
but
you shouldn't have been mixing it up with him and then even a couple points adrift.
I mean, I grant you, it wasn't ideal, but that's just the situation.
Because they don't have players like what you've got. Even though I know where your focus is, but that's where my focus was.
But what I always say is like the first opening 5 games will dictate the rest of your season, and I didn't have a good start. I had bad form, and I didn't manage my form pre-season very well because I was doing big transfers. I dropped 8 mil, so I didn't have a lot of money for form training in time. So it essentially meant that I lost my opening 4 games. No, I beat Salamanders at home, but then I lost 3 other home games. And so my form got absolutely crushed. So then I am competing with these guys because although I have a different level of strength, if their form's off, and I mean all the way around the club, it's not good for my intentions of DV because ultimately you need to have a good average form, and it doesn't help. So that's why I'm pleased with the result I've got because I've stayed competitive, knowing that I'm going to be challenging against not lower league teams, lower level teams. And I managed to pull my DV up out of a really torrid start of the season. And you know what? This is the attitude I had last season, and I ended up 3rd just because everyone else was tossing it up. It just so happened that everyone else seemed to pick up a bit of momentum at certain points in the league, and mine picked up, funnily enough, after I went out of the cup. And so that's when I managed to pick up points and stay in the league.
That was definitely the starting point for me. So I mean, my season essentially, and I won't start it too long, but basically I actually managed my form quite well to start the season. Form was really good, had some good results. Then the cup kicked in. My form just I couldn't handle it, couldn't manage it.
It was unmanageable.
Yeah, and as well, I had a bit of misfortune, same as last season, but as I said, everyone goes through it. And then I got knocked. I got knocked out of the cup by what's looking like to be the eventual champions. And since then, my form went up, and look at my results. If you want to see my season, it literally was green, 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 red, 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 green, green, green. Right. And
could you repeat that for me?
No accident. Green, red, green, basically. But yeah, so I mean,
So yeah, I get shit, and it's fine because ultimately I may have underachieved to an extent. All right, so there's an element that I did underachieve. I should have really come like 5th or 6th, really. If that's the attitude I'm going to take, and not trying to compete, but I should still be around that level. Mm-hmm. So I finished lower than I intended to. Yeah. But nevertheless, there's next season to go after hopefully a sick change report. Still a Lord, and not that I'm gunning for it or I'm going to challenge for the title. I'm not saying I'm going to win it, all right? I'm not saying that. Don't put words in my mouth. But my team's going to be a lot better.
Well, shall we not put words in anyone's mouth, but very early, I know the season finished yesterday. Who's going to win next year?
Couldn't comment.
Big question.
Yeah. I think Harsh should be looking to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't really looked at Graham's squad, but you've always got to try and back up a win.
Graham's never not.
I don't think
Graham's always going to try and be in the mix.
I think it's incredibly sad when a team wins and then guts, i.e. what this man did. I think it's incredibly sad.
But it's paid off, hasn't it? Come Monday morning, I tell you what you would have thought it paid off. I tell you.
Yeah, well, it's funny. DV is a funny thing. I wasn't very happy at mine, but at the end of the day, I should have 2 21.9s, 2 28s, and an 18.6. Should be happy with that. My
little wank in your pants.
Can I just say, my 16.3 played a 7 this season.
Wow, he might double.
That's quite impressive. He won't double. He had a bad season. TV is only on 16.
So he'll be a 17.4.
He'll be a 17.4, but hopefully he'll become an 18.6. 16 is disappointing for me. Just putting it out there. I'm devastated.
I'll give you a top 3. It should be, I reckon, and it should be really Graham, Salamanders, and then it's a toss-up between either the Bilbo, the Amputees, maybe the Merkage.
I'll give you mine. All right, he's put it out there. He's thrown down the mic. I think Salamanders should be looking to win. Graham, I think, might drop down to 3rd. Second, I think, maybe the Amputees. I think they're up there. Burka, I don't know, I think you'll get trapped in DV again. I won't be up there.
The trap of DV. Just put my foot in it.
This is my time to drop down the pecking order a little bit for a while.
Lay low.
I've had my time. Yeah, lay low. Get out the limelight.
Chart.
Get out of the limelight for a bit. Just be that guy who sort of you kind of think, yeah, here's I'll be a little bit worried. Yeah.
Mid-range diagram.
Here's I need to pull out some tactics, but at mine I should beat him 3-0, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Bilbo.
Bilbo.
Potentially come second actually. Interesting. But I think Salamanders, Bilbo, Graham, and then Amputees will be up there. Burke just survive relegation, as per.
So long as I'm a lord.
So long as I'm a lord. How about you, Tom?
Hit us with it.
the big gun, the Argentine.
It's hard to predict an exact order.
Is that because your head's full of basketballs?
But the thing is,
you're a prick.
didn't Harsh? I swear Harsh has said that he plans on sort of youthening up, and I think if he does that, I don't.
Why don't you just give us the top 3?
And I'll go myself, Graham, and Norman.
You think you're gonna win? Wow.
Not necessarily in
That
that
is
order.
bold. No, give us an order. Be bold.
We did it.
Be bold. We're not all sure of the exact order. It's not hard.
Yeah, we didn't just go like, that's it. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll go Norman to win.
And he was like, oh, Norman's second.
Speculatively, myself to come second, and then Graham third.
So you're even announcing you're going to go for it, but you only see yourself coming second.
I just have a feeling. I just see it like I don't know. Let me see what happens on Monday. If certain people do the doubles they should, then I might even put myself in for first. But I think it's Norman's due. Like he had a good season this year, man. I think he's due.
Well,
and I think I still maybe, and I know I've said it, keep saying it, but one season off maybe. But I think I will be in the mix, mate. I think I've been, as I said, laying low myself since winning the title, as you pointed out. But it's all gonna, sort of reap what I say.
Laying low, fucking powering, like.
Well, on that bombshell, I feel maybe we should end it there.
Yeah, I think we should wrap
sign
up.
us off, please, mate.
This has been Thomas Blaty's Lord's Panel. Rosal.
Coming at you, Tpol with the Lord's broadcast.
Sponsored by the Rosal Tigers. No? He's got nothing. Is that autism?
Just say who you are.
Huh?
Say who you are. Who's this been? It's been
us.
Oh, please, just say something like, hi, this has been Tom, this is the Lord's Panel.
Well, it's been the panel.
It's been the panel.
That'll do.
You've
That's the best
been.
you're going to get.
I've been great.
You've
Stay
been great.
classy.
You've been.
You've been fantastic.
I've been Jay Cantwell. I'll see you later.